see audio?
Yeah, I just had to turn it up more.
No, we just turned it on here.
Are you sure? Okay. I mean, I'm seeing audio. Hang on, let me check.
You're seeing audio?
Okay, audio. According to this, audio is still pumping.
Something like
yeah, she comes to our we have our pitch competition on May 28th, where we have all companies that are finishing 16 weeks through our accelerator. And
you don't want to be like,
there's so much just the caliber of company transfers.
yeah,
So the first year we were
well, if I'm down here for you,
you're going to attract the type of people that want to expand, to have exposure.
now we had an event last week called Maine Funding Landscape. Like invited the investors. And one of the people that are Skelly and Savings Bank is sponsoring his
And they've
company.
done it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we always go back to them.
Yeah, once they got that spot, I was like, because I think I was talking to them right around the same time. They're not going to work for them.
Yeah, it's easy and they're very nice about coming back and letting us split it up into a few different businesses.
let's bring the game.
Bryce, my phone.
yeah.
Well, I'll move it one. Am I bright or am I dark?
I might always met
Okay.
in the past.
What about over here?
Theory. I don't think I was married when I met you, but I am now. Just kidding.
We'll be fine.
I know that guy. I call him the governor.
So, basically what I'll do is tease Brian, I'll introduce all of you. And then, during it, they'll yes, I mean, see what your presentation, about 5 minutes, and then, all of you can ask questions. We're making it like the show, not a typical pitch presentation, so more entertainment values.
What about that?
Banter, if you want to actually offer it, you may not want to question. The only thing is, we can't for show.
You can see all in the back.
All right.
Am I fine now?
Oh, you're worried about between prices on
Oh, thank you.
I get in trouble.
That is actually
Valuing their company or
say like
10%.
Yeah.
So that's what they put together right now. Is that they have.
Just want to make sure everybody's here. It's approved.
Oh, okay.
So in case anybody calls and says, where's this?
You want me to sign a contract?
Stand over there.
Stand over here.
I'm going to stand behind Jade.
Channel 2.
No. That's good.
Yeah, it's interesting.
I'm just going to I'll give it to you.
Mr. Irwin.
Where are you?
You know what? I have audio. I think we're good. I'll tell you what. There's game. Game number 1. I'm gonna listen to this. If I feel like it needs to go up or down, I'm gonna sit over there for a little bit, and I'm gonna stand up and give you up, down.
Does he keep it?
Even just keep it there. You do this.
It's bad.
It's a job where you're planting seeds that aren't going to grow back. It's terrible. Yeah.
All right, let's do this.
Yeah. But I'm at Deergo Labs, and we're out of the Central Maine Growth Council, and so it's been, we have things going on in trap
Button you see back there.
factories coming in. It's just a long-term process of creating the right partners, incentives, and services and track. It's a
Is it volume? Oh. Okay. Okay, you got it?
Bryce, can I just tablet?
So now what you want to do is listen to the comments. If you are getting everything, bring the gain down. So you're going to play with the gain so you get voices, but you're not getting air. You know what I mean by that? Okay.
We have a pitch competition coming up in 3 weeks. So we have 12 companies. Some are raising as much as $1.5 million. Some are not raising. It's a pretty wide range, but there's got people who are PhDs from Stanford who are starting a company and doing it.
You guys good? All right, thank you guys for coming. So this is MMTC's Business, Marketing, and Entrepreneurship Program. This is year 1 of our program. In this course, we've learned about starting a business, all the different components. We've done competitions like pitch competitions, Skills USA, the Junior Achievements Titan Challenge at Thomas College. And today what we want to do is, everyone has probably seen in here, raise your hand if you've ever seen Shark Tank on TV. So what we wanted to do was bring a little entertainment value to what we do in class. So we're going to run this just like the TV show. So we have the 5 sharks here, who I'll introduce in a moment. We have 4 teams that will be presenting their business ideas. And yeah, the sharks can make deals, they can banter, they can jump in together. At the end, they will collaborate and choose a winner. We also have, generously, I want to thank Prime Financial is doing a scholarship for us. So thank you very much. Can I say the amount? Or? Yeah, sure. They're doing a $2,500 scholarship. So thank you, Prime Financial. Also, you'll see there's QR codes around the room, and the reason those are up, if now's time in class, you can, as long as your teachers here are okay with it, but you can use your cell phone. So if you scan that QR code with your camera, it pops up a screen for this competition, and we're going to have the people's choice at the end, and you'll be able to vote for who you think should have won. So yeah, scan any of the QR codes you see around the room. But let's get started. So first, I want to introduce our sharks. So our first shark, he works with entrepreneurs from ideas to scaling. From Deergo Labs, we have Jeff Frank. Our next shark has a background in business lending, business development, with strong background in operations, because she is the Chief Operating Officer of Prime Financial, Christine Cleary. The next shark is a former MMTC student, recent recipient of the Mid-Maine Chamber of Commerce's Rising Star Award, the owner of Red Claw Media, Sean Packard. Our next shark has a strong background in helping entrepreneurs take ventures to the next level and in business development. He is the commissioner for Maine's Department of Economic and Community Development, Michael Duguay. And our final shark, he's a graduate from right here in Waterville, Maine. He's built a reputation for driving growth in business and in our community, embracing innovation and creating trusted buying experience. He is the owner of Central Maine Motors Auto Group, Chris Gons. All right. So now we'll get started with our first team. All right, give us just a moment. All right, so kicking us off today, this team is tackling Maine's problem on lobster waste and turning it into fertilizer and biodegradable packaging. Please welcome Second Life Lobster, Piper, Sean, and Finn.
Hey Shark, how you doing today?
Good.
My name is Sean Wilform,
I'm Piper Hamilton.
Finn Mingle, and this is Second Life Lobster. We are looking for $150,000 for 15% equity.
Sharks. Did you know that Maine's coastline, including all of its bays, inlets, and islands, is roughly 3,478 miles long?
What?
Did you also know that Maine generates an estimated 90 to 100 million pounds of lobsters annually? It's also important to note that Maine generates an estimated 57 million pounds of seafood waste per year, primarily lobster shells. What if we told you we could help reduce that waste?
Maine's lobster industry generates millions of pounds of shell waste that ends up in a landfill every year. Second Life Lobster takes Maine's most iconic industry byproduct in lobster shells and transforms them into high-value sustainable products. We get the shells by partnering with lobster processors, restaurants like Ready Seafood, Luke's Lobster, and A Taste of Maine, and we collect the waste and convert it to our two core products: organic lobster-based fertilizer that we sell to Maine farms and garden centers, biodegradable packaging in bags, and then we also offer private partnerships with Maine-based retailers who are looking for locally sourced, sustainable packaging.
How we do it? We first start by collecting all the materials. Trucks pick up shells on a scheduled route, just like waste haulers. Shells arrive at our facility and are immediately sorted to remove any non-shell debris like rubber bands or plastic.
The second step is washing. Our shells are then pressure washed to remove meat residue, bacteria, and any sand or anything left on them. This is critical for our product quality and for hygiene purposes. The wastewater is then filtered and disposed properly per the Maine DEP standards.
Our third step is drying. So from step 2, our raw shells go into an industrial drying unit that removes all moisture. This is important because it prevents mold and reduces the weight for processing. These shells are then made brittle enough to grind down into a sand-like material. This takes roughly 4 to 6 hours depending on batch size.
Step 4 is grinding and extracting. Shells are fed into an industrial mill grinder that crushes them into either coarse meal for fertilizer or a fine powder for bag production. The fine powder is then soaked in hydrochloric acid, which dissolves the calcium and leaves behind cured chitin.
So if you did not know what chitin is a tough natural substance that acts as a protector in crustaceans, so lobster shells and crab. So this is the main material that is in the hard outer shell of lobsters.
Our fifth step is compost and test. The ground shell meal is rich in calcium and chitin, which naturally feeds beneficial microbes. We blend it with seaweed and bone meal to meet the OMRI standards, and then every batch is lab tested for nutrients, heavy metals, and microbial safety to make sure our product is safe before it reaches a buyer.
Our fifth step is de-escalation in film. So our chitin is treated with a dilated sodium hydroxide solution at high heat. This converts the chitin into chitosan. It is then dissolved and cast into a thin, flexible sheet using a film casting machine. This is then dried and cut into bag shapes, which will then present durable bags that are biodegradable.
Our last step is bagging and distribution. Fertilizer bags are filled in 2, 5, and 25 pound bags and palletized for distribution to garden centers and main farms. Packaging and bags are sold directly to main retailers, food producers, and outdoor brands on annual contracts with minimum order quantities to protect production efficiency.
So this is a little bit about the lobster industry. So our first competitor is Mid-MaineTech. They produce chitosan from natural sustainable sources such as crustacean shells to make packaging. And then also Vomer creates biodegradable materials for packaging. Although both of these competitors are very successful, they produce little risk because they are based out of the UK. Lastly, Mid-MaineTech creates sustainable solutions to elevate everyday materials from chitosan, the same nutrients that we extract from lobsters. However, they do not produce these same products, they just use the same process, so there's little to no risk in that business.
What makes us different? Maine is our home, and every part of our supply chain is local, which means our fertilizer and packaging is special. Our sustainable product resonates with our consumers and businesses who care about where their packaging and fertilizer comes from. And because we work directly with Maine lobster processors, our raw material costs are very low, which turns something that people pay to throw away into a revenue stream.
So these are some of the licenses that we need to start our business. The wholesale seafood license, lobster permit, lobster processor license, organic handler certification, special license, R&D permits, environmental waste permits, facility requirements, and commercial fertilizer applicator license.
So it's important to know what our target customers are. So our fertilizers we sell directly to Maine farms, hardware stores, landscaping companies, and grocery retailers like Hannaford and Shaw's who want a locally sourced organic product. For our biodegradable bags, we sell those to Maine seafood companies, restaurants, food processors, and retailers that are looking to replace plastic with a sustainable Maine-made alternative. What Finn said earlier, it's also important that we provide and offer private label partnerships to Maine brands like craft breweries and outdoor retailers who are looking to put their name on a sustainable Maine-made product.
This is just a quick look at our financials. We sell our bags, small bags, 12 cents, medium bags, 20 cents, large bags, 36 cents per bag. For the fertilizer, we have a 2-pound bag that goes for $13, 5-pound bag that's $16.50, and then a 25-pound bag on pallet that is $40. This is how much it costs us to make both, and then shipping prices as well. And then right here is an image of our product. These are our plastic bags in the small, medium, and large sizes. And then this is our fertilizer in the 2-pound, 5-pound, 25-pound bag. Yeah, I got it.
Oh, so these are just some of our one-time and monthly expenses. So as you'll see on the left, we have one-time purchases that we will need in order to make our business and the process successful. So we have tools and machines such as an extruder, or a hammer mill grinder. Hammer mill grinder, things that will only need to be used once. However, we do have the funds. If they were to break down, we can secure the things that we need. Also, on the right, you'll see the monthly expenses. These will be reoccurring, like the chemicals and the utilities that we will need to pay for.
Sharks. The lobster industry is the soul of Maine, but for too long, we've been throwing value in the trash. We aren't just managing waste. We're upcycling the most iconic business in the state. Second Life Lobster is turning millions of pounds of shells into fuel for our farms and the future of our packaging. So sharks, who's ready to give the lobster industry and our planet a second life?
That's our end of our presentation. Thank you.
There we go.
All right, Sharks, I don't know if anyone wants to kick us off. Any questions? Oh, might have to push the button actually to.
Yeah. Okay. First, wow. I mean, I had some questions prepared. Those are kind of out the window because you guys touched on a lot of that stuff. Super impressive. I was really impressed with all the ideas that I saw on the board. Do you guys have a time frame on your licensing? That's a lot of licenses for you to have to gather.
Yeah, so for the general licensing for the fertilizer, we more have to go through the Organic Material Review Institute, so that's just gaining certifications, and there is a fee for most of those, more of an upfront fee rather than a one-time fee. And then for our bags, I think it's just going through the whole correct processing that we would have to get a certification for, make sure everything is going smoothly and correctly.
Nice job. You guys did a real nice job. It was a very thorough presentation. Question that I have has to do with the number of people. How many people do you think that this will employ, and where do you think it'll be in, as you scale up?
To start, we don't really need a lot of people. Our biggest issue is getting all the products that we need to actually make the bags and the fertilizer. Once we get all the materials that we need, it's pretty self-sufficient. One thing that we did consider though is we would have to hire some employees to manage the machines, and then also a truck driver that would be driving and picking up the recycled lobster shells for us.
Another question that comes to mind is, how many lobsters will you need per bag?
I think that probably, I think there's a very small amount of chitin that is extracted from the lobsters, so it would have to be a pretty hefty amount that we are gathering from these processors and these restaurants. The specific number is unknown as of now.
You also referenced some other companies that do this, right? So where is your closest competitor?
So the competitors that we listed are more, they're not in the US. So Mid-MaineTech is out of Canada, and then Quantech and Vigoma are out of the UK. We do have similar businesses, like if you've ever heard of Marin, they take, from Luke's Lobster that we actually listed, they take the shells from Luke's Lobster, which they extract, glycoproteins, all of that stuff. So that's where they get that from. But as for specific competitors, no one is exactly doing what we are.
I think it's a great idea, and it's kind of interesting to think that you could have a bag made with lobster shell. So kudos to you. Another question that comes to mind is with the bag itself. What happens if it gets wet? I mean, it's a single-use bag. I mean, how strong is it going to be? I mean, am I going to be walking with my clams and they fall on my lobster bag?
That's a very good question, and since, you saw the one-time cost that we have, we weren't able to actually, make a bag, so that question is difficult to answer. We've seen videos of the other companies that have made similar products, and they seem generally up to par with plastic. The water specifically, I don't know exactly how to answer that, because that's something that we'd have to see.
So the chitin, before it's converted into chitizen, is a very flexible and strong material, so that we have hope that this will be a very durable and sustainable bag.
Thank you.
Great, congratulations. I think you've got something here. You're making added value in Maine's blue economy, so congratulations. I like your team. I'm not sure if you're at $1 million valuation just yet, so what would you think about 30% equity for the 150K?
Any chance we could do 25% equity for 100,000?
I need a minute.
I have a question about the bags and the fertilizer. Are you producing the bags for the fertilizer as well, or are you sourcing those?
Those would have to be sourced. As you know, fertilizer is heavy, especially for selling it in 25-pound bags. That's something we would have to test, consider, but as of right now, I'd say most likely it would probably be packaged in a different bag.
I didn't see it in the cost analysis, so do you know what that would charge? What it would cost you guys? Typical,
To make.
yeah, or no, to source those, right, to get those for your fertilizer.
If it's a bag that's sourced from another company or location, we didn't factor into those costs as we would have to test that first.
Our margins are the highest on fertilizer though, so it would be less of a big deal on that part.
On the bag side, it seems like you're competing against plastic, right? Which I'm assuming will have a lower price point simply because of volume. Because you're selling a more premium priced product, what do you think the compelling value of that is, and who do you think would be on the other end of that as far as a customer, and why would they make that decision to go with you versus the lowest cost option?
Yeah, I think people that live in Maine really resonate with the Maine identity. They want something that's locally sourced, and I think that is our big selling point, that it was sourced from Maine, and we've taken waste and converted it into a revenue stream and something that people can identify with.
Everyone loves lobster.
That too.
That's great.
I guess I have a couple more questions. One being around the drying process. It takes 4 to 6 hours to dry. How are you going to equate for if your sales explode tomorrow and you don't have any more resources and you have wait time? Is there a way that you have thought about speeding that up for investors?
So I think that if that were to happen, we would look into getting more machines that would be able to handle the amount of inventory that we need if our prices or our profits were to skyrocket and we would have customers more interested. So we would look into getting more machines, industrial drying mills, dryers, everything like that. So we would look into getting multiple of them that would speed up the process of making them. Any more questions?
Yeah, great job.
So one of the questions that I have is you talked a lot about who you wanted your customers to be. How do you plan on approaching them?
Yeah, sure. We plan on marketing a lot on social media, basically anything you can imagine, TikTok, Instagram, everywhere. Facebook as well, we know we can get targeted ads with that, so the ads will be directed at people who are looking for something that we make. So.
And are you looking for these people locally, or are you expanding across the U.S.?
We definitely want to start local. I mean, most of our idea is local based and it's about Maine, so we really want to start in the state, and if our revenue is good and we feel like it's right to start expanding down into like New England as a whole, that's something that we definitely consider and would like to do.
Sure. And last question, this is actually something Sean and I were talking about when we came in. Did you account for the cost of marketing within your business plan?
We have tied that in, but we thought that first before hopefully if we were to become a larger company, that we would handle the marketing at first and the advertising, we do it all self-made.
So even if you do it yourself, obviously there might be some added cost to it. I saw $1,500 a month, and obviously it said website/marketing. I think that that's still fair to assess for now for the startup. Obviously, if you look to expand, much more. You think of 3 to 5% of your annual income should be marketing. But one thing I do want to touch on is if I gave you the $150,000 at 15%, where would that go specifically? And what are your projections for income for that first year?
So I think specifically if we just started out, we would be looking into getting all the machines and tools that we need to start the business. Then it would go into obtaining employees and the trucks that we would need and getting all of our licensing and to ensure that our processes are correct and run smoothly. And then in the first year, we didn't quite have an estimation of what our sales would be, but if we were to resonate really with that main identity, we think we can tie in people that would get us a great profit and revenue stream in the first year.
There's another Maine-based company doing bioplastics from seaweed called Viable Gear. Would you consider a partnership with another Maine-based blue bioplastic company to partner on the machinery that would be that upfront cost?
I think that's absolutely something that we would look into. I know with our fertilizer, we mentioned we use seaweed as well, so I feel like that would be definitely a good partnership for us to have.
I would say because of the partnership opportunity potentially and some research in that, I would offer $75,000 at the 15%.
You didn't give us an answer on the 150,000.
Well, now the valuation's at $2 million.
Yeah.
So we're much higher now. Hey, if you can double your valuation today, good for you.
Yeah, we'll take it.
Great.
Got a deal. Thank you guys. Great job, Finn, Sean, and Piper. All right, we'll jump into it with the next team in the tank. So this team has an attachable, reusable whiteboard eraser made from recycled plastics. It's designed to reduce waste and improve efficiency. Please welcome Easy Eraser, Emma, Charlie, and Dom. Right there, actually. Dom, you got that one?
This is our management team. Our CEO is Emma Radcliffe, our CFO is Dom Santiago, and then I am your COO. Today we're excited to take you through the design of for our whiteboard eraser. We're asking you sharks for $100,000 in exchange for 10% equity. And we can't wait to show you how this simple tool will transform the way people work and write.
So sharks, did you know how much waste is brought into our environment by dry erase markers and erasers? Nearly 8,000 metric tons of plastic waste is produced from nearly 400 million dry erasers that are thrown away each year in the United States. This is why our goal from the beginning has been to revolutionize the dry erase experience and eliminate plastic waste.
Our mission with this product is to give every single one of our customers a easy experience with our eraser, because with some other erasers, such as Expo, for example, leave streaks, and they can also lead to other messes. Our launch plan will consist of designing the prototype and identifying what the product will look like, which that will consist of Charlie and Emma's doing. And producing and production would all fall into my hands. Our target customers are any professors, teachers, any stores like Staples that sell desks and other materials such as markers.
So our product is like a 4-foot long, attachable, easy to use swipeable thing that goes across your whiteboard to erase the whole thing in one swipe. And we will need CNC milling machines to produce these. Those will cost around $10,000 to $20,000. Making our retail price 20 to 80 per unit, because we are also using plastics for change as our source for the plastic we'll be using in our product. They help eliminate the waste by getting plastic from the environment that's like out there and bringing it in and selling it to us to allow us to eliminate plastic.
We're going to lead our sales and marketing from day one. Starting with $1,000 budget for ads, our multi-channel approach includes TV commercials, TikToks, Facebook, Google Ads, radio, podcasts, word of mouth, emails to schools, and local flyers, making sure Easy Eraser reaches anyone who needs it.
We understand the risk that goes into this, as it is a new product. It's never been introduced before. It's one of a kind, but we hope that the fact that it's unique, easy to use, it helps eliminate plastic waste, will sway consumers to purchase our product. Thank you for your time.
If I could just jump in real quick. I think the description is, you're saying it's like an attached element that actually slides real quickly, and is that correct? Or?
Yes, it like attaches. It will attach to the side of the board and swipe across, just like in one swipe.
Yep. So like a windshield wiper for a dry erase board.
Kind of.
I got you. Yeah. All right, I'm with you.
Have you done enough research into knowing like the breaking points of this, and what do you have for a plan for if somebody tries to return it, or if they have issues with it going forward?
For returning, there would be a set point in time when between you buy it and when you want to return it, like 90 days maybe. But we in the beginning, we want to allow people to use it, so it'll be free returns if you don't have the product.
Do we assume that you'll contract this out, or is there going to be a factory in Waterville that's going to say Easy Eraser on it, or is there a thought as to how that gets figured out logistically? Where it coming from, the price point, and so forth?
The long-term goal is to contract it out. We're going to start small and then eventually grow bigger and contract out to other companies. But our biggest competition right now is Expo, and they don't have a product like ours, so we'd rather partner with them and have them help us with that.
Would Expo be a good option for an exit? Are you trying to be acquired? You can patent yourself?
Yeah, I think we would want to patent ourselves, but that's something we're looking to.
You take it. Go for it.
I'm just curious, what would make me say no to this?
I don't think anything should make you say no to this. we have a strong idea. With more time and more effort, I think this is something that could go further and really help the environment and save you time in the classroom.
I think you guys have done a great job describing what this product is going to do, for the environment. I think it's excellent. It's certainly a problem that we are facing currently, right? Do you guys know how many units you need to sell to actually make money?
Not as of right now, but we will definitely get it.
Okay.
Would you assume that this probably gets sold with other sort of similar items, like on the internet, as it were, or is it going to be, I think you mentioned Staples and so forth, but as far as distributed, is this a play that's online, or is this only through other distributors who are like Office Max and so on and so forth?
It'll be a mix. We will have online sales. We'll have our own website ideally, and also go through Staples and also Amazon is another one we'd be interested in. can do Walmart, but
I guess my question is, why hasn't someone bigger like Expo already done this?
I'm not sure. I think that maybe it hasn't been thought of yet. A lot of people that are working for Expo that come up with the ideas, they're not in a classroom. They don't see the problems with like whiteboards like these and how the erasers don't always get everything very quickly. It takes time. Our product would save time in the classroom, and it also like helps eliminate those don't last very long. Sometimes not a whole school year. A lot of times not a whole school year. So we really want to help eliminate that too.
Follow-up, I guess, is you said about 4 foot size. There's tons of different whiteboard sizes. Is your plan to expand the production to have all different sizes?
Yes. In the beginning, we'll base it off of like average like wall-mounted whiteboard sizes, like for classrooms. But as we go further into it and start expanding our company, we'll definitely make different sizes.
Had you ever thought about an integrated product where you kind of go up market, as it were? Because the experience for a lot of people is if you're down market, it's harder to spell. What if it was an integrated, cleaner board that came together? Had you ever thought about, in effect, where you place yourself a little bit differently? Because I kind of use my sleeve on the board right now, but if there was something that came as a, had that thought ever come across your mind?
That we did not think about that, but that would be interesting. I think that it's something that we look into for sure.
The thought is that way you can control the uniformity of just one product or 3 sizes, as it were, versus trying to predict what people are buying as an add-on. I would just say.
What makes me want to invest in this over invest in an electronic board that already doesn't impact the environment?
So an electronic board, they tend to be very expensive, and they do have their kinks. Sometimes you can't always click on them, you can't draw on them, so it leaves you with like some issues if the marker doesn't work or your finger doesn't work and the whiteboard gets messed up. There's so many small issues that go into the electronic boards, and with ours, you don't need to have an electronic board.
What is your time frame for startup? You guys talked a little bit about potentially needing more time, but what is your time frame for this product?
I think our time frame would be about a year. We're in the way beginning of this. We definitely need more effort and more work on it, so it would definitely take around a year to a year.
And forgive me if you already said this, is the $100,000 your startup cost just to get you going?
It would be part of that. A lot of the startup will come from us, and then we need the $100,000 would go into like the CNC milling machines, because those are a lot of money, and we would like to get several of them to get production going.
I think patent protection is going to be one of the biggest things for you in order to make sure that you're just not replicated by one of these bigger companies. So I would go to $200,000, but the second $100,000 has to be dedicated to a patent lawyer. Would you be comfortable with that and doubling the equity?
I think that is something that we would be interested in. But are there any other offers on the table?
I'm going to play the Mark Cuban piece. That's a sweetheart deal. You should take it.
It is, definitely. I think that we would like to take that offer.
That's great.
That sounds good.
Great.
thank you guys. Great job. We've got our next group who's going to come up here in just a second. All right, so our next team in the tank, they're making high-quality, affordable t-shirts designed for everyday wear without the high price tag. Please welcome JM Clothing, Joe and Matt.
Hey Sharks, my name is Joseph Knapp. My name is Matthew Martin. And we are JM Clothing.
We are asking for $100,000 for 10% of our company. We use this money to help fund the startup costs, make more product, and get advertising.
One problem that every person will face is trying to find the right piece of clothing for the occasion you're going to. And this problem can be even worse when you check the price tag and it's insanely expensive for a high quality piece of clothing.
Here at JM Clothing, we offer a solution. We offer sleek, clean design t-shirts and underclothes that you can feel wearing, that you can feel comfortable wearing at any occasion. Another problem we solve is high quality clothing being overpriced.
The market opportunity for our product is huge, and this is because everyone, no matter what their situation is, they need clothes. And we have competitors such as Nike, Adidas Champion, and lots of others, but a lot of their times their products are overpriced.
Business model. We will be selling clothes that are made using our machines. The shirts will have our logo on it in the corner of the clothes to make sure that you can wear it to any occasion. It will cost around $20 in labor to make each piece of clothes, but pricing will depend on the check.
These are our prices. Pretty self-explanatory. We will offer the opportunity to have your own logo on the clothes for only $5 more per item. And we would also sell on both the companies and anyone interested for a discounted price, depending on how much we will order.
These are some of our designs. Basic t-shirt, pants, hoodie, then some more designs, and then how we use that.
Yeah, so the shirt we're wearing right now is just to show our logo, but this is what we're actually going to have. Stuff like this. And that's on a person. So far, we haven't started production or anything like that, but we do have all our calculations and everything planned out. We have our whole business mapped out and how we want to expand over time as a company.
Financials. To start up, we need around $40,000, and this would be used to buy the items needed to create the shirts and clothing, which would be machines, heat press, labels, and then also to promote our business through social media.
Our startup would be $40K, year one would be $150K, by year two, $250K, and our monthly profit, $3,900. Our break-even point is around 10 months.
This is our business map. Year one, we would just be starting up, so we invest heavily into the items needed, and then we would be advertising through word of mouth. Year two, hopefully we'd have a decent base of customers, so we'd be launching our own online store and start investing money into advertising online. And then year three, hopefully by this year, we'd be a known brand and hopefully be added into select universities.
We would use multiple types of advertising. One we would use a lot is word of mouth because it's free. Another would be paying for online advertising. So this will get our business out to a larger audience. And the last form we would use posting on social media, ads, skits, and other things that would get our product out.
quick shot at this, you guys. I'm always intrigued in this apparel world because quite frankly, I love it. To me, it just seems really interesting in being able to express yourself. I've actually helped a couple of students that were actually develop clothing lines, and the challenge that we always talk about with them is, are they buying the actual underlying garment as a commodity, and therefore it's price sensitive, or do you think that the actual logo and the storyline behind the company and what that express is the value point? Because I think those are the questions that always seem to come up with apparel, right?
I feel like with our company, we have different types of clothes. So we'll have like one that just has the logo, just so it can be high quality shirt that someone can wear to any occasion. And then we also sell clothing that would have our design on it, so that it would make it more like ours. So it would be like a variation of the two.
What would be, do you think, on your side, the distinguishing factor between your line of clothing, as it were, or someone else's that may have a logo that I don't know, but I like the design of it? Because clearly we understand why people go with like Adidas and all of that, right? We get the marketing prowess of those companies. But from your perspective as a startup, what would you say is that sort of value proposition? And am I basically wearing your garment to show off your logo? And I actually like it, quite frankly. I think that's neat. But what's that tipping point, as it were?
I feel like it's just because we're high quality, low cost, or relatively low cost, and just the fact that we make it like by ourselves and it's sleek, clean, stuff like that.
When you say you make it by yourselves, you're talking about the design, not the shirt itself.
Yeah, the design.
And so one of the other questions that comes to mind is, as you roll this thing out, do you have any sense of what you could do as far as social marketing goes, from the standpoint of, like Bomba socks, where they always give another pair of socks to a homeless shelter, to kind of gain traction with what it is you're trying to produce? Because I can get a t-shirt anywhere, right? So what's special about yours that's going to make me want to buy your shirt? It's got a great logo, it looks good, very flexible, which is terrific, but what's that extra special hook?
I feel like this is the fact that we're gonna offer like deals and stuff like around the holidays. You can get like buy one get one free, stuff like that. And then we offer like special designs for each holiday, like the Halloween one that I showed, and stuff like that.
So as you continue to grow, I would encourage you to think about what's that thing that makes you that much more special, so that you can have that thing that makes people want to really buy your shirt. I'm not in the shirt making business, right? I wear plenty of shirts, but it's just not something that really interests me at this point in time, so I'm out.
Did I see on one of your slides that you'll print my logo, or you'll print what I want on your shirts?
It's instead of having our logo, we have like our logo in like the bottom corner, really small. But then you could print your own logo. You would have to send us your logo, and then you could print it, and that would be for like companies or something. And then you could buy it in bulk for your whole company and employees.
And then you talk about timeliness being a factor in some of your designs around the holidays and such. How quickly can you put 10 shirts together with my logo so that I can use them for an event this week or tomorrow?
Relatively quickly, because we would just have to print the logo onto it, and then we would already have our logo like right here, so we could still show our company, but make sure it has your company.
That might be something worth selling right there, is quick time printing and quick time production of shirts for companies or events.
Say like a couple days. So.
Who's the distributor for the shirts? And then what makes me as a client not willing to just go to the distributor and buy them at price and rather go to you?
I don't think we know who our distributor, we haven't made it that far to figuring out who our distributor would be, because this is just like a prototype and then we build onto it. And then I feel like for that, it's because we offer like to have your own logo. We would make sure like have designs on it, just make sure it's better than the basic one.
I also am out just partly, at some point as you get going, definitely build more to your brand and story. Because it's you guys and your story that will make me buy a shirt, not necessarily the material.
So forgive me if you already said this, Jeff did ask, are you willing to print for businesses on a
Yes.
whim? And what did you say that the turnaround time was for that?
A couple days, like 2 or 3 days at most.
Okay, and it's just it's $5 per shirt to do a logo?
Yeah, and then when you order in bulk, like say you order in bulk for all your employees, you get a discounted price depending on how much you buy.
Okay. Well, I agree with Jeff that there's a value add there. I know personally, being a local business owner, that there's not a lot of places that are doing that locally, but that does give you a little bit of competition. How would you plan on competing with the Vista Prints of the world?
I feel like you would just do more online advertising, stuff like that, offer more deals, stuff like that, and then obviously the discounted in bulk and stuff like that.
Okay. Well, I like your idea. And did you say your starter cost $40,000?
Yes.
Okay. And what do you plan on doing with the other $60,000 that you're asking for?
We would use it more on like making product and advertising online, because that's how we're going to get most of our customers.
And investing back in the business?
Yes.
Okay. I would be willing to do $75,000 at 25% equity to get you guys started.
Could you do 20% for 75,000?
I have to think about it.
I'll do the Mark Cuban thing. Hate that.
We'll take it.
Excellent.
All right, they've got a deal. All right, great job, Joe and Matt at Jam Clothing. Thank you, guys. All right, and we've got our final team, and this man, he's going to be doing it himself today. So our final team, this is an all-in-one fitness app that uses data to create personalized workouts, nutrition, and scheduling. Due to unforeseen circumstances, his other team member couldn't be here, but Uriah said, no problem, I've got this. So let me introduce to the stage our last team, Trackalize with Uriah.
Good afternoon, Sharks. My name is Uriah Sargent. My business is Trackalize. And I'm asking for $30,000 for 5% of my company's equity. 30 to 40% of new gym goers quit within the first few months. Common reasons for this could be loss of motivation, poor structure with their workout routines, or lack of knowledge on how to live their life outside the gym concerning nutrition, time management, or etc. Many people don't even know how to build a routine in general, and this is what Trackalize is designed to solve correctly. Trackalize is a multifunctional mobile app designed to make fitness, nutrition, and scheduling more simple. Many people track data already, but lack clear direction how to progress from them. So Trackalize converts data into clear, personalized step-by-step plans, telling the user exactly what to eat, how to train, and how to structure their day. We are fully customizable with a strong privacy protection plan to guarantee customer safety and security. The main problem here is that users already track their habits across multiple tools, whether it be through notebooks, apps, computers, whatever it may be, and this leads to an overload of information that can be overwhelming and frustrating. There's no clear direction or next step to where to go from there, and this causes inconsistency and for people to fall off from their habits and routines. The main problem is that data is collected but ineffectively used. The solution to this is to turn that raw and confusing data into actionable plans. The app measures and analyzes the user's habits and generates specific meal plans, workout routines, rest days, and weekly schedules tailored to each user. Everything is integrated into one structured system for ease of use. Trackalize is made up of 3 main components: exercise, nutrition, and scheduling. Users input their routines, meals, availability, and physical activity, then analyze all in relation to each other. The app then generates personalized workouts and recovery plans, calorie and protein targets, structured weekly schedules, and focuses on guidance, not just tracking. The competition for this market can be rather brutal, with top competitors such as Fitbit, MyFitnessPal, and strong tech ecosystems like Apple and Google. These are all strong at tracking and displaying data. However, the user is required to interpret that data themselves. The difference with Trackwise is that we focus on execution, not just tracking. We integrate fitness, nutrition, and scheduling all into one place to provide a unified, step-by-step plan to reduce decision fatigue and improve consistency. The risks for competing in this market could include strong competition and brand loyalty from current customers who are used to the older, more reliable versions of what we may offer. Users may be hesitant to trust our app with personal data, and you could have concerns around that sensitive information. Our motivation to this is to focus on simplicity and clarity, providing straightforward daily plans with strong privacy and transparency values. With continuous development and updates, we plan to not fall behind in the constant technology race by using our AI tools. The market plan is rather simple. We plan to target users who are already tracking their habits and goals daily on digital tools and services. We're going to focus mainly on meta advertisements through Facebook and Instagram. With a $500 monthly budget, we plan to amass around 40,000 impressions per month. With a 1% click-through rate, this brings us to about 400 visitors, and with a 3% conversion rate, this totals to about 12 subscriptions per month, ending the first year with around 144 users. Customer economics look like a customer acquisition cost of $42, which when compared to the subscription values, which go up to $150 for the yearly plan, it creates a recurring revenue model that scales as the user base grows and is sustainable for long-term structure. Our subscriptions start around $15 with bi-yearly options and yearly options going up to $150, with the latter being more affordable for customers long-term or guaranteeing customer retention. Revenue projections start rather slow, with the first month being shy of $200, but finishing the year at month 12 with 4-figure months, and totaling at the end of the first year with $14,000 in revenue. Growth is slow and steady, but it is compounding. Our expenses are simple. It consists mainly of licenses and permits, which can range from registering as an LLC all the way to user license agreements, which basically just tells the customer and the user what's allowed and what's also strictly prohibited within our app. Our marketing, with a $500 per month budget, totals about $6,000 at the end of each year. And insurance, with different forms of liability insurance, going all the way to data breach protection, as well as workers' compensation for the future if we decide to hire on employees and software developers. All these together total to a little over $11,000. And with that cost, we just have decided to break even in month 11 with nearly $12,000 in revenue and 132 active users. Our company mission is to simplify self-improvement more than it already has been. We turn data into actionable plans, combine fitness, nutrition, and scheduling all into one place to help users stay consistent, removing the confusion and complexity of juggling multiple apps to reach your goals. And that's all I've got for you. Thank you very much.
So, first off, you're up here all by yourself, so I congratulate you for that. And that says something about your team. When one team member can't be there, you stepped up to fill in, so congratulations. That speaks to your support between each other. You're competing with companies like Garmin and Apple and some of those. Your competitors were developed in the landscape of hiring coders, hiring software developers. Nowadays, you might be able to create 90% of what they do with AI and agents. Do you have a strategy for building using those technologies?
So we initially planned to grow the app ourselves and develop it ourselves using the advanced tools we have available today. Like you said, 10 years ago, you'd be forced to hire on software developers to do this kind of work. But with the advancements that technology has seen in the past years, this is completely doable by yourself through teaching yourself and using AI tools. If it came too daunting a task or there were mistakes made or issues that come up over the years, used. That's what the ask is for. That $30,000 is a fail-safe in that first year if something goes wrong. If nothing goes wrong, which would be incredible, then that $30,000 would be used to expand in marketing and research and development.
Something that I was going to ask a lot of the different teams that have come up today that I didn't get the chance to, but I'm very proud of you, is what if I say no? What is your next move? But you've already shown me what your next move is, because you broke down your entire pitch, whether I invest or not. You broke it down in a way that shows that you're moving forward despite an investment, which is very key. My one question to you that I'm very interested in is, have you looked into any of the wearable technologies, or is this strictly cell phone based?
So, when considering wearable technologies, such as the services Fitbit offers, Google, whether it's a watch or whatever it may be, that's something I'm not sure if we plan to incorporate into our business in the future, but it is acknowledged as a strong competitor, and that it would require the customers and the users to kind of neglect what they've been using recently, whether it be, like you said, a watch or something wearable. So we do keep that in mind when thinking about competition in the market.
Have you thought about developing your app so that it currently works on wearables like Samsung watches and Apple watches?
If possible, I'd love to be able to partner with companies like Google and Apple to be able to work together with what they've already created. I feel like partnerships are more valuable than competition. But if that wasn't the case, then we'd probably look into developing something of our own.
I think just one of the challenges that probably ahead of your company is because of the very thing we talked about of lowering the cost of being in the game, the competition is going to get that much steeper, that much quicker, right? Had you thought much about a real deep vertical? Because the interesting thing was when you were talking, I thought, I love the name, by the way, and I think the graphic of it just is perfect. You've done a nice job there. To start out, is there a group of individuals, as it were, that this would speak to in total where they might feel like they're part of a bigger thing? So when you say Trackalize, could this be basically just those people who are involved in either they're currently the high school, collegiate, or basically in effect runners, and you're really picking to one niche? Because I think the difficulty here is the danger is always like, well, everybody in fitness is my customer, right? And I think the challenge that you're going to have is that, although that might be on the surface, how do I feel like I'm part of a bigger thing other than myself, the identity, as it were? And is that something of consideration or a thought?
When it comes to having such a large niche market and such a large group of people, since our app focuses on guidance and clear direction, for those who are more advanced in the fitness industry, they might not require as much guidance and step-by-step plans as someone newer and has trouble following through with routines. I mentioned in the beginning that such a large majority of 40% of people end up falling through off of their original plans, especially in the new year with New Year's resolutions and gyms. From January to March, a huge decline in memberships is seen. So this is marketed mainly towards people who feel like they can't do it themselves, they need that help, they need that direction. Marketing to the entire gym industry seems a bit daunting, so that's why I kind of narrowed down that window a little bit. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, no, that's great, thank you. I think that's part of it, right, where we come back down to the marketing aspect almost every time, because unfortunately, because of the lowering costs, it creates so much more easier entry into the market. So I think identifying a community or identifying your tribe, as we like to say, is probably really important from the start. So I hear what you're saying. It's effectively those people who might otherwise fall off out of a regimen of fitness, and those are the ones you want to focus on. So I think that is your niche, right? And if there's a way to actually market towards that, I would recommend that be a part of it, an approach.
Talk to me a little bit about your zone. Will?
Power button.
Hey, we there? All right. You know, this space moves really fast, and there are an awful lot of competitors that are out there working through this. I didn't see a whole lot on research and development.
So when it comes to expanding the app,
That would really also depend on where technology goes in the future years. We're already using AI tools, which is pretty much the epitome of where technology has reached in the past few years. Really, with how expansion would go over to the marketing initially, we really be pouring most of our funding into marketing to just reach further. When it comes to research and development, we try to, like I answered earlier, maybe incorporate some sort of wearable device, if that's not something we could partner with someone else with. As well as just expanding what the app has to offer when it comes to, if you did extend to other nations, offer different languages, and even other services. But of course, that's all. This depends how the first few years go.
So I'm lazy, and I don't want to put in the info to have you explain to me what to do every day. Is there an automated process to that so that it can track those routines so I don't have to tell it what I'm doing every day?
After a certain point of using the app, for example, when you were first starting using the app, you enter in what you've been eating, how you've been working out, the amount of macros you've been getting, calories. But after you've been entering that in for a week or two, it would start suggesting other meal plans, so you wouldn't have to enter that in yourself. It already knows what you're eating because it's recommending that for you. So after you've already been using its suggestions with fitness and nutrition, scheduling, it already knows what you're doing, so that need for entering all the information and taking up extra time is no longer needed.
My last question is involving security. I saw the insurance around it, but do you have any security costs built out, because you're going to need, you're tracking people's data essentially. So what are your steps in making sure that nobody is able to get a hold of that?
We would really focus on having strong cybersecurity values, as well as a very strict privacy policy. And like you mentioned, the insurance would be crucial when tracking people's data. We would be careful not to track too sensitive data, just schedules and nutrition and fitness. You wouldn't tap into any like sort of medical information, or you need to have a medical disclaimer. But no, we would focus very heavily on cybersecurity.
I think your valuation is a little bit high here coming in because of the sort of commoditization of the industry, but I'd say 30,000 is not a big leap. So I'd say just as 30,000 for 7.5%. What would you say for that?
I'd hold on before I go too far with that, because I'd do 40,000 for the same 7.5%.
I'll do my Mark Cuban again. You should take that.
Well, I don't know, Sean, do you want to partner up on something?
Yeah.
I'd partner up on that all day long. Yeah.
Could we double it and do 80,000 but for 14%?
Yeah, I'd do that.
Great idea.
That's a lot of advice you'd be getting. You got 3 board members? Are you all taking board seats?
Oh, got it.
I could get rid of my Fitbit. I'd love to do that.
Yeah.
One other question. You talked about one of the aspects that differentiates you against your competitors is your speed, your ability to utilize frontier technologies to rapidly deploy. Let's say I have 100 employees at my company, and I want them all to have Track-A-Lies on their phones so that we can make a justification to our health insurance to say that our employees are getting healthier every year by the amount they move, how they track. We're going to reduce the amount of insurance premiums for our company. Would you be able to create something rapidly for my specific company and my employees?
So would we be able to take like requests almost?
Yep, to make custom solutions at the enterprise scale. Yep.
Yeah, I think one of our main, I would say not our main, but something we considered is that it's highly customizable, not just how much info that users can enter in, but how they want to use it. So I think when looking at it for partnering with businesses to help with insurance, whatever it may be, completely doable, 100%, especially with using the AI tools and how free of a range you have with that. It's very cool.
So you have an offer on the table. Do you take it?
I do want to caveat that though, that 80,000 would caveat for me at least personally that you add a actual cybersecurity budget that makes it so people do not have access to that AI that you're integrating it with. You may have insurance, which is great, but you still need a firewall built up so people don't access that information.
Would you be willing to throw in an extra
Oh, he's good.
$8,000 onto that 80,000 to fund that cybersecurity budget.
Christine, you want to join in?
I feel like $8,000 isn't much of a leap.
It's not. No, it's
And I'm going to say if Sean won't do it, I'll do it.
You're offering $88,000 for 14% of my company.
Yes.
Got a deal.
Got a deal. All right, great job, Uriah, with Track-A-Lot. All right, let's give all of our teams a round of applause. All right, I guess that's as far as we go. My leash won't reach any further, so. All right, I'd like to take a few minutes, have the Sharks debrief, discuss who they think was the overall winner. And then I see so far 11 of you have already voted. So if you scan the QR codes that you'll see around the room, you can actually vote who your favorite is. So we're going to announce who the overall winner is that the Sharks think. And then based on your voting, we're going to have another winner based on the people's vote. So take a 5-minute break. Thank you, guys.
Oh, where it ended up, 75,000.
75,000 for 15. Oh, so it was 15,000. Yeah. That's what I brought down to as well. Yeah.
Oh, you guys went to the detailed scoring sheet. Did you see that?
can have the whole class come up. I'll give them a few more minutes. So we have about 15 minutes. We want to make sure that everybody's able to get their things and make sure they make their buses. So we'll let the Sharks finish. If you haven't voted yet, you still can. I see a bunch of them are pouring in, so thank you guys. And we'll give you a couple more minutes.
We do a matrix of who scored first, or how do you guys want to do that? What's the...
I don't know how he's going to have us
figure it out?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just basically that we get a feedback. And very, very close. So,
No,
I think we just put in the team and give you that's the way to hide.
I like the first because it took from zero
Yeah, good to go. All right, so we'll have the teams take the stage. So we got Second Life Lobster. Easy Eraser. We got JM Clothing. And Trackalize. You guys want to brief first, and then we'll announce the winners? Oh, you ready to announce? I'm not debrief, but give feedback, I mean?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so I think you all did a really nice job. All of you should be proud of what you did. Getting up on stage is not always an easy thing to do. And to be faced with a bunch of questions that will come up during that process is always hard to think on your feet. So I think you all did really, really well with that. You should be proud. In terms of the individual ones, I really liked Second Life Lobster. I thought that that was a good product, a good background for the state of Maine You know, the things that they always tell you if you're going to be in manufacturing, find out what your region has and figure out a way to turn it into something that everybody else wants and can get. And so, yes, we do send lobster out, of course, but we do consume an awful lot of it. I don't eat lobster, so it's a little different for me. But I think it's really kind of great that you're taking something that would be thrown into a landfill and finding out a way to use it. And I think it's really terrific that there are many different ways that you can use it based on what you've described. And so I think that there's really something there, considering the fact that I don't think anybody in the state does this now.
Not at that level.
No, not at that level. So it's not about where you start, it's about where you finish. So if you do choose to continue to go forth with this, just take it in small steps and small bites. And remember, it's not about where you start, it's where you finish. So the next one, that was the easy eraser. You did a nice job. I had a hard time understanding the concept, right? So what's really important, I think, is being able to convey that with visual aids. I'm a visual learner, and having something more visual to be able to kind of see what it is you're talking about. Mike's description of a windshield wiper for a dry erase board, I think, was good. It started to get me understanding what was happening, but I was locked in on the idea of the markers and the erasers. So I kind of got lost there, right? So the concept was hard for me to get. You did a nice job. I thought your marketing piece was good. I thought the organization was good. I liked the group participating all the way across the board. Everybody played a role and part, and I thought that was nice. The JM apparel, I like the t-shirt idea. You know, it's one that is very easy to implement if you wanted to go forth and do it. And if you do, go for it. I think that what's important is basically what I said while we were talking earlier, and that is, what's your hook, right? What's going to make you different? What's going to make somebody want to buy your brand or your shirt? What's going to make you special, right? I don't wear Bomba socks, but I remember them from the whole idea that they have a pair when you buy a pair, right? So some kind of hook or something like that, I think, becomes important when you're in a market that seems to have a lot of producers, especially when you're dealing with Temu and the Chinese and so on and so forth, right? So know what makes you special and talk about it and be proud about it. So you all did a nice job. Trackalize, nice job, very confident, good presentation. Wished your teammate had been here with you, but congratulations to you for digging deep and standing tall and making sure that the presentation got done and got done well. So you have a lot to be proud of there. So nice job. And when you're ready, I'll get rid of my Fitbit. So I'm going to hand it to Sean.
A lot of what he said I can echo all day long. All of you guys did a great job, and love that you came out here and supported your brand by wearing it. That's huge. Team one, you guys are confident and clear. You guys have the research, and that's super important. I mean, especially it's a Maine-based brand. With expansion, I can picture along the East Coast. So that's echoes a lot of opportunity. With the next team, the Easy Eraser, I also had a little bit of a hard time kind of figuring out what the goal was. And also for me personally, the ad cost was like low in regards to you guys competing with somebody like Expo. My one piece would be to look to sell it, right? Look to sell it to Expo. And then JM Clothing, very simple idea that can obviously grow and expand. So I love the brand look. You guys did a great job with that. The piece that I would have for, weakness is the storytelling. Set yourself apart from other brands and make people want to buy your company's logo, essentially, right? Because that's what they're doing, rather than the dozens of other ones that are out there. And then Trackalize, again, digging in deep for sure. Alone, you did a great job. My only one thing that I had was security. You know, not just for, you know, yeah, you covered the insurance fees, which is great, but there has to be something to prevent people from accessing that AI, which in a world of AI, that's something that we're, you know, a lot of companies are struggling with, so that's it.
So a lot of what's I would have said, it has been said, but I will say that, so Team 1, incredible presentation, very well put together. Again, solving an issue, you know, a real issue with sustainable made products is pretty incredible. I think that the thought process that goes into that is incredibly impressive. So I really enjoyed learning more about it. I would just say working more, I love the idea. It is something that's easy to manufacture or make. I love the idea of kind of keeping it local, maybe marketing to businesses. Again, kind of what Sean said, just working on the marketing piece and the storytelling, and I think it's already been said, the branding and how you're going to set yourself apart. In Team 4, I was really impressed by the level of detail, and I feel like you had an answer for every question that we asked. I mean, you were incredibly well prepared, very well spoken. So, I mean, obviously a lot of work went into that. I just think that you have some pretty tough competition. I am no AI expert by any means, so I know you can use those tools to help you, but those tools can also be used against you.
Scalable. This is like those little smiling sponges that just take off, and something that for people who use those every day, it's impactful. JM, you guys believe in a brand, and when that catches traction, it could be a small group. You only need a small section of that massive market to really make a difference. So keep going. And then Trackalize. This is focused on trying to make people healthier, try to make it more practical for people to make themselves better. So congratulations on finding something that could really help people make a difference in their own lives. So just echoing the sentiment that entrepreneurship takes bravery. Every product in the world came from someone saying, I see something wrong, I can make better, something is a problem that I can solve. So keep looking at the world in the way of finding things that you can make better. Congrats.
I'd echo a great solution. I would also add that there's a program called Maine Technology Institute. There's literally startup grants that don't cost you necessarily anything that might help seed this idea to get to that next level. So give that some thought. Trackalize, I think, not unlike what I'm going to say to other groups, is that you have something there. If you could find the tribe in the community where you could call them out, that feel like there's some cohesion in their fitness journey, I think that's where you want to focus. Easy Eraser, I really do believe that, strangely enough, if this was a self-erasing whiteboard, I am your customer. Making something for something that's already out there where you can't control the dimensions and the quality of what the board is, I think that would be an issue. But if you made it all yourself, self-contained, and moved it up market, I'm going to have one in my house, because I'm a whiteboard person. They're all over my offices, and I hate the idea of trying to figure out how to erase these things. So I'd be a big customer, but put it all together and give that some thought. JM, I really believe that, again, it's a niche or a niche. If you find a tribe in a community that's looking to express themselves on a shirt, on a pant, you focus on them. If you go the commodity side, I think you're going to struggle. As a quick disclosure, if it was an animal with a guitar in its hand, I would buy it because I own every one of them. Isn't that odd? But that's the community that you're looking for. Is there something that you call out? You had this the slide that came up on Halloween, and that's an interesting thought as far as a niche. Again, great job.
All right, thank you guys. Thank you, Sharks. Love all the feedback. And if you guys come to a conclusion, who you think is overall the winner?
Say, Christine.
You want me to announce the people's one first? Second Life Lobster. And the winner that you voted for was actually Trackalize. So congratulations. Yes, and thank you all for participating and being part of this. To the class, I hope you don't hate me after today, but I am really proud of you guys for coming up here and doing this and stepping out of your comfort zone, because like they said, this